are two things a man should never write, even if they cost him his life. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are on a Sunday, and Kill Coriander, we're going to go to the 70s. We're going to continue working on our horror bracket, which has been an exercise in like absolute craziness, man.
Yeah,
It,
a little bit.
Exercise in chaos.
that like for real. Let me. I'm so serious, man. Let me pull this thing up here, man. And we can take a look at it. We've completed the 2000s. We've completed the 80s wing. And now here we are. We're going to be looking at the 1970s. And this is going to be interesting, man. This is going to be really, really interesting. Let's see who we have in the chat. And I also want to start getting going on this, let you guys know what movies we have in the running. We have 20 movies from the 70s. This was really, really difficult stuff, man. It really, really was. And we're going to see how we're going to get these seeds laid out for the number one spot. Hopefully we'll get about 8 of these today, but let's see who we have. Gina's in the chat. What's going on?
Hello.
Russell, what's up, Russell? Good to see you.
Hey.
Yeah, and Nathan's ready to go. JJ, what's going on? Melissa's in the chat, and shout out to Melissa, who's been leaving comments, literally saying she's been missing our live streams, which is very, very sweet of her, as we
nice.
took some time off for vacation and so forth. But thank you, Melissa. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dan's in the chat.
Dan.
What's up? May Ann is in the chat too. What's going on, May
Hola.
Ann? All right. And Melissa said, I miss my lives. You're so sweet. Thank you. What's up, Philip? Philip's in the chat too.
Hello.
And ZZM, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, we got our good friend Steven from Craven Something Scary. What's up,
nice.
brother? What's up, man? Good to see you, man. Just another horror fan in the chat too. What's up?
What's up?
And Kay's in the chat. What's up? Melissa saying, love you guys. We appreciate that. We really, really do.
Love back. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that so much. All right, guys. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Let me pull up our list of movies from the 70s that we have got to figure out. We have done some polls on our community tab, and it's been absolutely interesting, to say the least. And Miss Carter jumped into the chat. What's going on? All right.
Hello.
Good to see you, Miss C. All right. Okay. So you guys know how we're going to do this. Let me tell you guys what we have on our list. And as usual, well, I'll get to that later. I'm sure people will mention it. Okay. These are the movies that we have on our list to pick from. We've got Rabbit from David Cronenberg, Nosferatu, The Toolbox Murders, The Wicker Man, I Spit on Your Grave, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, The Last House on the Left from the late great Wes Craven, Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978, Piranha, Alice, Sweet Alice, Zombie, Dawn of the Dead. This is going to be interesting, man, because we already have the Dawn of the Dead remake in our other wing. So this is going to be interesting. Black Christmas, The Omen.
Yeah.
The Amityville Horror. Carrie.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you say that. Salem's Lot. The Hills Have Eyes. Another Wes Craven.
So many good ones. Yeah.
Right?
Dang.
Suspiria. Phantasm.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. So those are the movies that we have in the running. What we're going to do And for anyone in the chat who can help us with some counting, that would be great. Dan or whoever. We've put up a poll,
Oh,
and we
please
want.
tell me it's still the same as it was. The winner. Has
What
it changed?
well, let me just tell you guys what we got here.
Uh,
So in our poll, we had multiple polls. The movies that we had the biggest percentage of votes for were The Omen, Black
yes.
Christmas, and Carrie. And so and
Oh,
so
nice.
so what we were trying to figure out is our number one seed. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have a very specific question for you guys in the chat and have you guys vote. So just pay attention.
Oh
We
boy.
want to know between The Omen, Carrie, and Black Christmas, which movie should be the number one seed in our 1970s wing?
I thought
Okay.
usually with this though, hey, I thought usually with this
Yeah.
the poll won the number one seed. It didn't matter what everyone else
Well,
voted.
it was so crazy. It was so close. That's why we're doing it this way.
What?
Because yeah, it was crazy.
Who?
Look, listen,
What?
man.
Knight, you're an agent of chaos.
Hey, look, man. I'm just saying. Man.
Oh
This is how
man.
we got to figure this out. Um, Dan saying the 70s were great for her. It really
Yeah.
was. It really, really was.
Yes.
No doubt about that. Okay, so let's figure this thing out. Melissa saying Black Christmas. Philip saying Black Christmas. So we
Yeah.
have two
See
for.
what I mean? See what
We
I
have
mean? This is why I'm like
look.
This
Just
sketchy
is
about
why
relax.
this.
democracy
Relax.
doesn't work.
I know. Corey like, let's just do it. Wow.
Oh my
Oh my god. Um,
god.
Polar's in the chat too. What's
Oh,
going on, Polar? All right.
hello.
Hey,
David's in the chat too. Nathan's going with Black Christmas.
Oh
This
fuck
might
man.
this might end up similar to what we have in one of the polls. Let's see. So we've got 4 for Black Christmas so far. Just another horror fan with Black Christmas. It looks like Black Christmas is going to do this thing.
Unfortunately,
Uh,
doesn't it?
Gina going with Carrie. Steven's going with Carrie. Uh-oh. Here we go. We might have a situation here. Mark's going with Black Christmas. Kay's going with Carrie. Russell's going with Black Christmas. Mayanne's going with Carrie. ZZM going with Black Christmas. Dan's going with Black Christmas. JJ's going with Carrie. And thank you, Val. Val's in the chat saying to make sure you smash the like button. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. It's looking like Black Christmas is going to get the number one seed.
Yeah.
That is what it's looking like. Well, that's not totally surprising because in a couple of the polls, Black Christmas was at the top. Melissa said, this was great. Melissa said, my man chose Black Christmas too. He's listening. I love that. That is great. Oh my God. All right. So look, let me start this off. First of all, Kill.
yes.
What out of those 3, we're talking about Black Christmas, we're talking about Carrie, and The Omen. What are your thoughts as far as anything about those movies and what you think should be number one? And I'm gonna start to fix the bracket itself here.
I mean, for my taste, out of those 3, it
Mhm.
would easily be Carrie, but I live in bizarro world, cats and dogs living together. I don't know what's going on anymore, but yeah, I would choose Carrie.
You would? Okay. All right. Coriander, what about you? Let me know what you think as far as, I know you love Carrie, but people that don't know that, just to explain why.
That I love Carrie?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my vote, but I love Carrie just because it introduced me, it was like my first horror movie that I was able to finish. when
Okay.
I was really young. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what got me into horror is Carrie. And I've loved that movie ever since. And I still love it.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, what do you think of Black Christmas? Because I know you're a fan of Black Christmas as
Oh,
well.
that's a great movie also. But for number one with this list, no, I'm sorry, but it's killing me, man. It's killing me.
It's killing you.
Yes, because it shouldn't be number one in my opinion. In
Okay.
my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let me.
Ah, damn.
It's too funny. But that's the beauty of doing this, is that you have some folks that, they
Well,
they,
like I
they look at things.
understand that. I get
Yeah.
that. But, it
So,
just
so, so out of
it
those three,
just
which one
sucks.
would you have chosen?
Me?
The Omen. If you're asking me, plug me back in. It would
Okay.
be The Omen.
Oh,
Oh, so you would
Yeah.
have went with the Omen.
Hell yes.
Oh,
I
hmm.
love the first two movies. I mean, I like the third also, but the first two movies are
uh-huh.
spectacular. I love them. It's great old school horror. And yeah, the cinematography, everything about it it's great. It's great. So,
Wow.
and you got to think about it. I mean, The Omen, sure there was horror movies that brought, other horror movies, but come on, it's a classic. It's like
Hmm.
a classic. So, yeah, for that not to be number one, it's a travesty, and I just can't believe it. No.
Okay. Well, hey. All right. Okay. So look, this is what we're gonna do. Let me pull this up. So we've got Black Christmas uh in the number one spot. And let me just zoom in on here. And actually, there was one of our polls that we did that pretty much said the same thing. So actually, this is kind of interesting how in this live stream we're getting the same flavor. Okay. Let's see. Let me just make that a little bit bigger here. Not that big. Okay. So for our 70s wing in first spot, first seed is Black Christmas. Okay. So let's do this. And I'm assuming that this is how it would go. Let me for folks that have just jumped in, let me just kind of let them know what we've got for our movies. We're going to assume that Carrie is going to. And Miss C was saying Carrie was inadvertently my intro to horror. I walked in during the hand coming out of the grave scene. Ooh, wow, that's crazy. I love that. What's up, the
hmm.
strange monkey in the chat? What's going
Hey,
on?
Hey, nice.
All right. All right. You guys are too funny, man. All right. So let me just put our list back up here as well and go through this. So we're going to have Carrie in the second spot. Now, what we want to do is we want to come up with our number 3
What?
seed.
So wouldn't The Omen be number three?
Well, I want to put this in the live chat because no one voted for the Omen.
But
hmm.
that was
So
part of the trio.
I want to make sure of it
Oh,
here.
Jesus.
Let
Oh,
let me
man.
handle this, man. It's like, good lord.
Wow. Oh,
Don't make this
man.
any more difficult than it needs to
Stop the
be. Okay.
steal.
I need
I
to be,
know.
man. Oh, my God.
That's what makes this fun though, because the Omen, listen, we had multiple polls and the Omen was ahead in one of them out of 4. No one voted for the Omen here today. So I want to
Hey,
make
hey,
sure.
hey, hey.
So we've got Rabbit, Nosferatu, The Toolbox Murders, The Wicker Man, I Spit on Your Grave, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, The Last House on the Left, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Piranha, Alice, Sweet Alice, Zombie, Dawn of the Dead, and Black Christmas is number 1. We've got The Omen, The Amityville Horror, Carrie, Salem's Lot. Carrie is number 2, by the way. The Hills Have Eyes, and Suspiria and Phantasm. So we're gonna vote for the number 3 seed. The number 3 seed. So let's start off with there while I'm putting Carrie into number 2. So Kill, I'll start
Yes.
with you. what would you put as the number 3 seed in the 1970s, man?
Look, this one, and you probably know where I'm gonna go on this, but
Mhm.
look, George Romero is a master. Come on, Dawn of the Dead. Who doesn't like to kill zombies at a mall? Come on,
Oh, so you're going with Dawn of the Dead.
I'm going Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. How about you, Coriander?
Um, I think I am going to do The Wicker Man.
The The Wicker Man. Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's a great movie.
You were just talking about
Hey, The Omen should have been number one, and that's where it should have been, but it's not. So now it is what it fucking is. So
See, I never know what she's gonna say in these things, man. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so you're going with the Wicker Man. Why are you going with the Wicker Man at number 3?
because
For
that's a
for
great
those,
movie.
right? But for those who
It's
haven't
an
seen it,
it's a cult. It's an occult movie.
mm-hmm,
It brings a surprise to the end that you're like, whoa.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love that movie. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So let's see what we have in here. Russell's going with Alice, Sweet Alice. JJ's going with Phantasm. This is gonna be. See, I can already see how this is gonna go. Gina is going with The Omen. Mayanne's going with The Omen. Okay, we got 2 for The Omen. Um, Steven's like Last House on the Left, Craven rules, right? Just another horror fan going with The Omen, and Val going with Last House on the Left. Dan's going with The Wicker Man.
Nice.
Okay. Philip going with Dawn of the Dead. All right. And that's what we've got so far. Kay, we're going with Phantasm. Miss C going with The Omen. Okay, so The
Right, you
Omen
guys. Nice.
looks like The Omen is going to get that 3rd spot.
Good job.
For anyone else, let us know what your pick is if you haven't already. If you already have, don't write it again. We're trying to keep track of this. It looks like The Omen might get number 3. All right. And Val, if you get a chance, if you can double check that, that would be most helpful. Extron's in the chat too. And wait a minute, ZZM's going with Last House on the Left. So that actually might be pretty close here. Strange Monkey saying, I work at a mall and I'm constantly thinking about Dawn of the Dead. I love that. I'd be thinking of Dawn of the Dead too, man. No doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
All right. So it looks like I think, and Val, let me know if you've got this count right or anyone else. I think it's The Omen. Pretty sure. And if that's the case, then The Omen will be in the number 3 spot. Wow. This is crazy. When we did these polls, I mean it's kind of close to what the polls, how they ran, but it's very crazy, man. All right, Val saying The Omen wins. All right. So
Nice.
The Omen in number 3. All right. Hey, Marty's in the chat. What's up, Marty from the Trash Picture
Oh,
Show? What's up,
hey.
bro?
Awesome.
Good to see you, man. Long time no see.
Right?
Jonathan's in the chat. What's up? All right. And thanks, Marty, for tweeting this out. We appreciate that, man. We're talking about the 70s horror and trying to put these in a bracket to rank them. So let's pull this up, man. So far, this is what we have on our list. So yeah, man. Black Christmas in the number 1 seed, Carrie in number 2, and The Omen in the 3rd spot. That's what we've got so far. All right. Very, very cool. Okay. So, guys, let's work on the 4th spot. So, let me go through the movies that we have left. We already have 3 that are out of the running, so do not name those. But what we've got left, we've got Phantasm, Suspiria, The Hills Have Eyes, Salem's Lot, The Amityville Horror, Dawn of the Dead, Zombie, Alice Sweet Alice, Piranha, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Last House on the Left, Tales from the Crypt, I Spit on Your Grave, The Wicker Man, The Toolbox Murders, Nosferatu, and Rabid. That's what we've got left. And again, guys, we have 20 movies, but only 16 spots. So there'll be 4 of these movies that will not make the cut, which is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Miss C jumped in quick. She's like, The Hills Have Eyes. Okay, so that's our first vote. So you guys let us know what you want to vote for our our spot. Fourth spot. And again, just give us your vote once, and we'll have you guys count them up, and Val can let us know what we got. So, Kill,
Yep.
what do we put in the fourth spot, man?
Okay. I would say Dawn of the Dead again, but let me go in a different route here. Let's see if that sticks, maybe. Like, look, man, you can't go wrong with Brolin. So I'm gonna say Amityville Horror, man.
Amityville Horror, yeah. I love that movie,
I love
and
that movie, man.
of course the late great Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder already having the number 1 seed with Black Christmas. So let's see what happens, man. Coriander, what about you? What do we have to have as our 4th seed here?
Uh, well, I think I'm gonna go for Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Ooh, all
Ooh.
right, all right. Now, and we had a fantastic chat about that a while back.
Yeah,
So I know you really enjoy that movie, but for those
yeah.
who may not know it, very well, what's your reasoning for putting that so high out of 16?
Well, it's kind of sad because I just recently watched it for the first time when we watched it like how long ago? So,
Yeah, about 9 months ago or something like that.
yeah, so I think I've seen it twice now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I saw this movie like way sooner than I did because it's such a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, I love those endings that are like you never even, thought that it would end that way. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a great, great movie.
it
And the
is.
effects. I mean, all these movies, this is when effects were really good, special effects. And I mean, yeah, it's
And you
just
mean because they were practical?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I'm for the practical.
Yeah,
So,
man, it was a really good time for horror, and even these movies that we're talking about, there's a lot of interesting parallels to them. Um,
mm,
but let's see what we got here. So Miss C was with The Hills Have Eyes, Gina's with Dawn of the Dead, Melissa's with Tales from the Crypt, JJ's with Phantasm, just another horror fan is going with Amityville, May Ann's going with Dawn of the Dead. Russell's going with Dawn of the Dead. Gina's going with Dawn of the Dead. Here we go. Here we go. Extron saying, I don't know most of these, but Dawn of the Dead is my answer. All right. Well, and that's why we enjoy doing this, by the way, because I think all of
sounds
these
like
movies, what was
yeah.
that?
I was just gonna say it sounds like Dawn of the Dead's gonna win.
Yeah. But all of these movies are definitely, they're good 70s horror movies, man. Philip's going with Dawn of the Dead. All right. Steven's going with The Hills Have Eyes. He's waiting for it, man. Dan's going with Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna go with Dawn of the Dead here, man.
Yeah.
ZZM's with Last House on the Left, and Val saying Dawn of the Dead has won. Now this is interesting because we do have the remake that made it in our other wing, in our 2000s wing. So can you imagine that? It's like, all right, so we got 2 of these. All
Mhm.
right. Now, and Kill, you were big for Dawn of the Dead.
Mhm.
What's something about Dawn that you really enjoy or that stands out for you when you think of it?
I just love the subtle things below the surface that Romero puts in his movies, the
Yeah.
morality tales, the classism, the borderline
Mm-hmm.
racism, things of that nature, and
Mm-hmm.
just writing some, for the most part, some very smart characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's the master. We all have to tip our hat. Especially if you're a fan of zombie movies. Come on.
Yeah. No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. Coriander, are you a big fan of Dawn of the Dead? The original?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those movies are great. And that out of the three is my favorite. So you
Out
had
of the
Savini. Yeah, you had Savini doing the effects, which I'm a
mhm.
fan of his effects anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
All right. CCM, no Shaun of the Dead. No. No, no, no. Miss Carter, you're not a fan of
Oh,
Dawn of the Dead? What? Really?
Oh
Or
no.
maybe just in that spot. Maybe. Maybe in that spot. Okay, so Dawn of the Dead goes in our fourth spot. So there we go. Man, this is this is interesting. It really, really is. Okay, so let's go through the movies we have left to get our number 5 pick, our fifth seed. Let's see. Let me pull these up. And again, we're gonna have you guys let us know your pick and let us know one time. That way it's easy for us to count it up. Okay, so what we have left, we have Rabbit from David Cronenberg, which we did talk about Rabbit actually on a double feature episode a few months ago on our Friday episode. We've got Nosferatu, The Toolbox Murders, The Wicker Man, I Spit on Your Grave, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, The Last House on the Left, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Piranha, Alice, Sweet Alice, which was a really fun episode we had on Slasher Movie Club. We've got
yeah.
Zombie, Dawn of the Dead made it, Black of Christmas made it, The Omen made it, and what we've got left is we've got the Amityville Horror, Salem's Lot, The Hills Have Eyes, and Suspiria and Phantasm. And that's what we've got left. And now we're looking to pick our fifth seed. Kill. What do you need to see in that number 5 spot?
You
It's
know,
getting interesting.
I'm gonna stick with Amityville. I love Amityville, man, and I
Okay.
just truly feel in my heart it deserves to be pretty high.
now,
Mm.
now, what's the reason that it deserves to be pretty high? Because I mean, we do have some really like when I'm saying these movies, and of course I knew what was on this list, but even as I'm saying these movies, man, these are some really good horror movies,
Oh
man.
yeah, I mean, I guess for me it's just a personal thing of this was nightmare fuel for me.
Okay,
I love a good ghost story, and the cast is just outstanding. Rod Steiger,
it
Frank
really is.
Rowland, Margot Kidder. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
The
I mean, what
house itself,
the house
the house
itself.
itself is part of the cast. That friggin' house is creepy as hell,
Yeah,
man.
and just like I was saying with Romero and the blueprint for zombies, movies and so forth, Amityville Horror is the blueprint for like a lot of things that we like nowadays, The Conjuring, etc. I mean,
Hmm.
come on.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. Good point. All right. Let's see what we got going on in the chat here. Denisha's in the chat. What's going on? What's going
Hey,
on? Good to see you,
Hey.
Denisha. Let's see. And we also have Katie jumped into the chat too. What's up,
Hey, Katie.
Katie? Good to
hey.
see you. Good to see you. Katie from Popping the Popcorn. Okay. So, and hopefully I have this correct here. Gina's going with Amityville. All right. Let's see. Melissa's going with Last House on the Left. JJ going with Phantasm. Philip going with Amityville. Uh-oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. Let's see. Strange Monkey going with Phantasm. Justin the Horror Fan going with Amityville. Wow, this is gonna be an Amityville Phantasm match here. Steven's hanging on, man. He's like Last House on the Left. Come on, folks. Dan's coming in with Hills Have Eyes. All right.
Ooh.
Mayanne going with Amityville. Wow. And Val was saying Amityville, one of the best early based on true story movies. That's a good point.
Mhm.
Very good point. Extron is going with Amityville. Russell's going with Last House on the Left. Denise is going with Last House on the Left. Wow, man. This is crazy. Wow. Miss C. You gotta pick one.
Come on, you can do it.
uh, and it looks like, oh, Val said Amityville wins. Wow. Two boys came in. What's up, two boys? Saying Amityville as well. And Jonathan, it looks like Amityville made it. Kill you. it's like you willed this to happen, man. Coriander, and we haven't talked about Amityville in a while. Coriander, what's any of your memories of Amityville or what you liked about it?
Oh, geez. I mean, like you all have said, it's a great ghost story. It's based on, you know, true events. And yeah, I mean, I've experienced supernatural shit, so I am a complete believer. And whenever you're getting into like ghost stories that are, yeah, this is one that, it's scary. I'm not saying it scares me, but it's scary, and it's a great one. So yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's look at this thing. What we've got so far here. Wow, this is really, man. I'm looking at the 70s, and it obviously is no shade to the 2000s or the 80s, but this 70s list is hardcore, man. Look at this: Black Christmas at number 1 seed, Carrie at number 2, The Omen at number 3, Dawn of the Dead at number 4, and the Amityville Horror is at the number 5th spot. This
Yeah,
is
it's a
like
good list.
loaded.
Yeah.
That's Murderer's Row right
That's
there.
that's what I'm saying. Can I just, and for you guys in the chat, just for a quick second, and give us a quick answer on this. Like the 70s is loaded so far. Like to me, those are all classics, like high level classics, top tier. I mean, what do you guys think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So far, this
Like,
list is
wow,
going
man.
pretty good.
Corey
Not
is like,
100%, but pretty good.
I'm liking it so far.
I know. Oh man. Strange Monkey saying the Amityville name has been dragged through the mud. I know,
It
man.
sure has.
There's like
Oh,
25 Amityville movies. It's
yeah. Time to
absolutely
stop doing
crazy.
that shit.
Right. But the original, yeah, man.
Oh,
The
yeah.
original. Yeah. Yep. Ben's in the chat. What's up, Ben? Saying not a fan of the comedy in Last House on the Left. The chicken scene kills it. Well, yeah, there's a little bit of that comedy, but there's a hell of a lot of dark shit too, man. Like,
Yeah, there is.
I can't. And we talked about this quite a while ago. Now, it might have been on the other channel, but I can't even watch Last House on the Left that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta prep for it because it's just such a dark movie. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, it's
See, I don't let movies like affect me in that way.
well, what I'm saying is it's not a light movie. Like it's just like with
Oh, right.
it's just like with regular movies. Like I don't watch Schindler's List a lot, but that's a
Right.
fantastic movie. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's not that type of movie. I'm like, I'm chilling out tonight. I want to watch Schindler's List. That's kind of what I mean by that. But it's an absolute fantastic movie that everyone should see. Aaron's in the chat. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Two boys saying the 70s brought the fear. It really did.
Yes, it
Oh
did.
my God. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Let's see. Y'all, you guys are too funny. Stephen was saying Last House is very disturbing and heavy. It's a downer, but brilliantly made by Wes. I agree. Now, I knew that this would come up sooner or later. Kill, I'm gonna let you answer this because I've said this a lot of times. Just another horror fan said, "How come Halloween 1978, one of the greatest movies of all time, why is that not in the running?"
Because between us, that probably would have been number one. That would have just been too easy. We got to give other great movies a chance on the list, but it is a masterpiece.
It is absolutely. So what we tried to do. So I want to say this again, just for you guys, because here's the thing: if you followed this channel, then you probably should have expected Halloween on the list, as well as The Exorcist, as well as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
Yeah.
we intentionally kept those off the list because what we wanted to do is we wanted to have this bracket be made up of other movies to have that chance to have, at number one seed and so forth. We did the same thing with the 80s. We didn't have an American Werewolf in that list, or The Thing, or Friday Part 4, or Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. And we're going to continue to do that also with the 90s. So you guys can guess a couple of movies that will not be on the list. Now, and the other thing too, and I'm kind of having fun with this, but what we've talked about is if this bracket project goes really well, what we're going to do is we're going to follow it up and include the top tier favorite movies in their own bracket. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Extron said Halloween is easy number one for me. Yeah, so that's exactly why we didn't want to have that in the running, because we wanted to make this a lot more challenging.
Mhm.
Is basically what we wanted to do. Okay, guys. So right now we have 5 spots that are already done. Let's see what we can get for our fifth seed. I'm sorry, sixth seed. And these are the movies that we have left. And have you guys give your picks, and then we're going to see what we get. All right. So we've got Phantasm, Suspiria, The Hills Have Eyes, Salem's Lot, Zombie, Alice Sweet Alice, Piranha, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Last House on the Left, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, I Spit on Your Grave, The Wicker Man, The Toolbox Murders, Nosferatu, and Rabbit. Okay, we're going to have you guys start voting in on that. And Kill, before I ask you what you would pick,
Mhm.
and I'll let you take a second on that, just to give also a quick shout out. We did basically a trivia poll, because Black Christmas was trending really high in multiple polls that we did. So I actually had a trivia with an image of the great Olivia Hussey, and I wanted to know if people could name her and also the year that Black Christmas came out. And we had quite a few people that answered it correctly. So to give those guys a shout out, we got Nick, who guessed it, Bobby Lee, let's see, Kanai McDonald, the Hatchet Boys as well was correct. Um, Kay had said everyone guessed it right, so there's no point in me guessing it. We also had Aaron and Nick's new channel, the Movie Ranker, guessed it. Paris, the Film Girl, the Enlightened Kid, Casey J, and Mip. So you guys did a heck of a job for the movie trivia. You guys know what's going on, and thank you so much for answering that. Okay, let's see what we have for our sixth seed. This is going to be really, really interesting. Okay, Miss Carter's holding on for The Hills Have Eyes. She's literally trying to will that into existence on this bracket. I love it. Nathan going with Alice, Sweet Alice. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Give some slashers love. Melissa going with Tales from the Crypt. Gina's going with The Last House on the Left. Just another horror fan going with I Spit on Your Grave. All right. JJ going with Phantasm. Wow, this is really going to be divided. Dan going with Alice, Sweet Alice. ZZM going with Last House on the Left. Jonathan going with Phantasm. Mayanne going with The Hills Have Eyes. Russell going with Alice, Sweet Alice. Steven still holding on for The Hills Have Eyes. Extron going with Alice, Sweet Alice. Denisha going with Last House on the Left. All right, all right. Let's see. And Two Boys going with Last House on the Left. Wow. Okay, I think Last House might have gotten it. We're going to take a second to count those up. Kill,
Yeah.
what do we have to put in this sixth seed, and why?
Look, uh, we did a series review of this movie and this series, and I became a true hardcore fan. You play a good game, boy. Phantasm, Phantasm, man.
All right, all right. Yeah, it definitely was a fun exercise going through the Phantasm films. And for you, it was kind of, getting you into the groove on those. So that
Oh
was
yeah.
really cool to see you introduced to those and kind of going through them and so forth with us. All right, Coriander, how about you? What do we need to have next on this list?
Well, I think I'm gonna give that a slasher some love, and Alice, Sweet Alice is definitely that's a great movie, and again another one I just seen for the first time,
Mm,
and it had some pretty shocking moments, and yeah, it's a great movie, so it definitely deserves to be up here.
all right, all right. Well, let's see. Val is saying Alice, Sweet Alice, and House both have 4 votes. What? That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I had almost forgotten about that too, Coriander. Like you had never seen Alice, Sweet Alice when we did that for
Hmm.
Slasher Movie Club, which was
Yeah,
that was a great episode, man.
yeah.
All right. So look, let's figure this out, guys. How do you guys want to figure out what gets the next spot? Should we just vote amongst
Well, if
ourselves to break
it's
the tie?
tied, right, and I just
Mhm.
voted, doesn't that break the tie?
Well, what I was gonna say was we could vote for it or we could spin the wheel, which I know you
Why doesn't
absolutely
our
love.
votes count?
Well,
Our votes should count.
girl, you are messing with me. I just said, do we want to have us break it or just spin the wheel? We'll break it then. How about that? So you're
Yeah,
going with
we don't
Alice.
need the wheel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kill, which one are you gonna vote for?
Um,
we already did,
but we're
Between
didn't
voting to
you?
break it. We're voting to break Alice
between
Oh,
Sweet
between Alice,
gotcha.
Sweet Alice, and Last
Alice.
House on the Left.
Okay.
Don't worry, Coriander. I'm with you. Alice, Sweet Alice.
Okay. Then there we go.
Oh shit.
Good God, man.
Yeah. Out of those two, I definitely would go with Alice, Sweet
All right, you going with Alice, Sweet Alice. Okay, so Alice, Sweet Alice wins. All right, let me put that in. And Kill, now when was the last time you've seen Alice, Sweet Alice? Has it been a while or
Actually, it was like last year. I watched it
okay.
last year. Yeah.
What'd you think of it? It's like super um like it's an interesting movie, man. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny. That was wow. I hadn't watched it in years up until
Uh-huh.
like last year, and
Yeah.
yeah, interesting is a very good word for it. It was really
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's definitely a movie I think, for horror fans they need to check out. And again, if you haven't seen our episode on it for Slasher Movie Club, you got to check it out. It was a really, really good episode. We had a great conversation on it. Okay, Alice Sweet Alice is going in the 6th spot. All right, number 6. Okay, guys, Philip says, "What is Alice Sweet Alice?" It's a really good horror
Ooh.
movie. Check it out. We did an episode for it on Slasher Movie Club. Go to our playlist for Slasher Movie Club. I think we did that episode. I don't know, maybe about 7 months ago or so. It's really, really good. Nathan saying Alice Sweet Alice is a unique religious slasher that relies more on the story than the kills. No doubt. No
Mhm.
doubt. Yeah, it's true. It's really true, and it's totally about atmosphere. Totally about atmosphere. Yeah. And Dan, I knew Dan would probably say it. Great Slasher Movie Club episode for Alice Sweet Alice. And we did have Dan with us on the panel. And it was a
It
really good
was.
episode. It really, really
Yeah, it was
was.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
You need to
Um,
come back on, Dan. We got to do another
yes,
episode.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, guys. So let's do this for our next spot. This is funny, man, because it kind of goes all over the place. That's what's so fun about this. Like, and I think sometimes folks are like, let me just vote for something different. All right. So what do we have left? Okay, let me pull this up here. Hold on one second. We've got Rabbit, Nosferatu, The Toolbox Murders, The Wicker Man, I Spit on Your Grave, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, Last House on the Left. Can it make it in? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Piranha, Zombie, and then we've got a whole bunch that have already been put in. Salem's Lot, The Hills Have Eyes, and Suspiria and Phantasm. All right. Let's this is so interesting how this is like panning out. Kill, what do we got to get in there? I know in the chat what Steven's wanting. I know it.
I'm gonna stick to my guns here because it seems like when I
Phantasm.
switch, then then things get voted in. I'm gonna
Right.
stick with Phantasm, man.
All right, Phantasm. Coriander, what about you?
You know, I have to agree with Killian. I'm going with Phantasm also.
All right. I have to absolutely agree too, man. We got to get Phantasm in there. Phantasm
Yeah.
is easily the most unique out of all of these movies. And these are great movies from the 70s. But as far as like just the uniqueness and the creativity, Phantasm,
Yes.
is in a class by itself. It still is to this day.
And I'm in love with the car. So, I mean, come on.
Right?
There you
Oh
go.
my God. Yes.
Steven's going with Last House on the Left. And Dan said, I'll come back anytime. Right? All right. All right.
Nice.
Melissa's going with Last House. ZZM's going with Last House. JJ coming in with Phantasm. Okay, here we go. Russell's going with Last House. Russell's going with Piranha. All right. Gina's going with Last House. Denisha's going with Last House. So it looks like Last House is going to
definitely
finally
does.
get in. It is going to get in. We got
All
some
right, we got to do
Western.
Phantasm for that next, guys. Come on. You got to make it happen.
All right. And look, man, Last House on the Left is, and again, we just kind of we're talking about it, but Last House on the Left, it's a tough movie, man. It is really tough. Now we talked about it, but and I'll start with you, Coriander. Like as far as this movie,
Yeah.
what I mean, if you were to, if someone had never seen it, what would you say to them about this movie? Like, first of all, I'm assuming that you would recommend it to a horror fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, unless they're, if they can't handle certain things, like you can throw anything at me and I can take it.
Yeah.
But some
And we
people
want to,
probably not.
we want to be careful what we say.
Right. No, but that's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say about
Yeah.
that. And so, I mean, how would I approach it to someone who's never seen it? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, I'm just saying, why would you tell a person that they have to watch it as a horror fan?
Um. Oh, well, geez, I don't know, because it's a good
Okay.
movie.
Okay. What about you, Kill?
Look, this is, and you've said it perfectly earlier. This is one of those movies where you're not like, man, I feel like watching something, and you're like, oh, I'm having a great day. Let me put on the Last House on the Left.
Why not? No,
Hey, I mean, it's a classic movie. It's a great movie, but it is heavy. And if you're having you're having a good day, it's sunny outside, you're gonna go to the beach. You may not want to do certain things after you see this. That's just my opinion.
Well,
So.
but a lot, there are a lot of horror movies that bring some heavy shit.
Oh, of course, of course.
So if you can't handle it, then it's like, why are you watching it?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think it's more, and I'm like this with other movies that may be dramas or period pieces. I have to be in a certain mood because I know what I'm getting into is heavier than me just turning on Jason and just seeing my homie do his thing. So it's just, this for me is one of those that you got to be in a certain mood.
You do, man. You do. Nathan agreeing with that as well. Yeah, it's a really heavy movie, and I know Steven had said it perfectly earlier. It's brilliantly made, but it's a very dark film, and it really, really is. And it's funny because that movie came out in '72, and even to this day, it's still really, really dark. And even though people, they get desensitized, as far as watching horror, but that movie, to me, it's still heavy. When we talked about it, we kind of had to tiptoe a little bit in that discussion as well, because it's just a really heavy, dark movie, So,
Mhm.
um, and Val, thank you so much for putting the link for our Patreon. We really appreciate it. Saying another way you can support the channel is by becoming a Patreon member. Just follow the link. We appreciate that, and we will be. Val herself requested for watch party tonight to watch Popcorn, so we're going to be doing that tonight. So if you guys want to join us, just click the link, join our Patreon, and we will be doing that later on. Um, so far, this is what we've got in the 70s wing. Black Christmas at number 1, Carrie at 2, The Omen at 3, at the number 4 spot, Dawn of the Dead, Amityville Horror at number 5, Alice Sweet Alice at number 6, and Last House on the Left at number 7. We're gonna go for our 8th seed. Let's see if we can do this for our 8th seed. These are the movies that we have left. And again, 4 of these movies will not make the list. We've got David Cronenberg's Rabbit, Nosferatu, The Toolbox Murders, in which we did an episode on that for Slasher Movie Club. The Wicker Man is still in the running. I Spit on Your Grave, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978, starring Donald Sutherland, Piranha, Zombie, Salem's Lot, The Hills Have Eyes, Suspiria, and Phantasm. All right. So there we are. I think I already know what you guys are thinking. But Kill, you can just throw it out there.
Hey man, you play a good game, boy.
Boy. All right. Let's see what we got from you guys. Dan saying the Wicker Man must get in there. All right. Coriander, what do you think? Are you going with Phantasm as well, or are you going to go with Wicker
I
Man or
am.
something else?
Phantasm.
All right. JJ's going with Phantasm. Gina's going with The Hills Have Eyes. All right. Denisha going with Phantasm. Mayanne going with The Hills Have Eyes. Uh-oh, here we go. Jonathan going with Hills Have Eyes. Oh, wow. Two Boys going with Phantasm. Russell's going with Phantasm. Michael's going with The Hills Have Eyes. Nathan's going with Phantasm. Wow. Melissa's going with The Hills Have Eyes. Just another horror fan going with Phantasm. This is literally going back and forth. Wow. And we'll have you guys continue to go in there. I gotta agree, guys. I think Phantasm should get in there as well. It's again, just thinking about the movie itself, it's got so many cool elements, and you literally have a horror icon, probably one of the most underrated horror icons. We've talked about this before in streams, but to me, the Tall Man is so underrated, and the fact that Angus Scrimm, rest in peace, portrayed that character in 5 films over the course of like 45 years.
Mhm.
Okay, to me, it's literally a travesty that the film as well as his character are so severely underrated. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. And Val, if you can let us know yeah, this is tough, man, because Phantasm and Hills was going back and forth. And let us know what the count is. I think what we've got is, let's see, let me make a count. Oh, Phantasm wins. I was just about to say, it's got to get in there, man. Listen, and Kill, real quick too, because I know some folks, probably most of these folks here, did not see our episode on Phantasm, which, by the way, definitely check out that episode of Phantasm. But for you weren't into it, or you hadn't gotten a chance to get indoctrinated in it. I mean, like, what's your thought on it?
Well, and I could talk about the entire franchise, but I'm just gonna stick to the original.
Right.
The actors in it, the camaraderie with them, the sheer terror of the Tall Man, the
Right.
science fiction elements as well as the horror.
Yeah.
combined in there. So for me, it was like a total package. And just like Coriander said, I love me some muscle cars,
Oh
and
yeah.
they got a
Yeah.
badass
Mm,
car in there,
It
man.
was, and
yes.
so it had some action in it a little bit, and also fantasy
Mhm,
too, man. It's
Yeah.
like crazy how many elements were in that movie. It's absolutely it's crazy how they all went in together.
mhm.
JJ saying, "Woohoo!"
Finally in there,
Right?
JJ.
Finally,
Yeah.
finally. Oh my god, too funny, too funny. Okay, so that means we've got Phantasm at number 8. Let's go through another one and see if we can I know Steven's probably like, this has to work. All right, let's see what we have. Let's see what we have left on the list here. Um, we've got Suspiria, The Hills Have Eyes, Salem's Lot, Zombie, Piranha, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Tales from the Crypt, the movie, I Spit on Your Grave, The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man is still available. The
I know,
Toolbox
that's crazy.
Murders. Okay, so now why is it crazy?
Because it should have been like higher up, well, lower,
We've got
at least in my
Nosferatu
opinion. Yeah.
and we've got Rabbit. So have you guys give us your vote. Um, so you think it should have made the list already, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Okay.
But
Where
yeah,
go ahead.
know what?
No, I was gonna say, where would you have put it?
Well, didn't
Because
I?
we've got 8
It was
spots that are
way
taken up
up
so
there,
far.
right? I think was it the fourth or
Mhm.
fifth place, I think around there I tried.
Okay. All
But I
right.
think, I don't know, maybe not a lot of people have seen that movie, which if you haven't, you really should check it out.
That's what I'm
Pretty
getting at.
good. Yeah,
Yes.
which
Thank
it's
you.
too bad. It kind of hurts my heart a little bit, but I'm getting over it. No.
All right. All right. Okay. So Gina's going with The Hills Have Eyes. Melissa going with Tales from the Crypt. All right. We got a vote for Tales from the Crypt. Wayne's in the chat. He's going with The Wicker Man. All right. Just another horror fan going with I Spit on Your Grave. Nathan going with Hills. Dan's hanging in there with The Wicker Man. This is going to be interesting. Denisha going with Tales from the Crypt. Wow, this is going to be a crazy one. This is why we do this. Mayanne going with Hills. Jonathan going with The Wicker Man. All right.
Nice.
JJ going with Tales from the Crypt. What? Wow. Two boys going with Tales from the Crypt. Val's going with The Wicker Man. Russell going with Hills Have Eyes. I have no way to even count all those. So Val, I'll let you count that. That was crazy. Everybody was going in different directions. I did not expect that. We had gotten a couple of votes in there for Tales from the Crypt. Speaking of which, have you guys seen Tales from the Crypt, the movie?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have.
It's an old school movie. Joan Collins is in it. A young Joan Collins, like,
Hmm.
and it's
Oh,
basically
maybe I have.
like, and it's basically, I mean, to me, it's a really great anthology because you have these multiple segments, you know,
Yeah.
and I think it's really really it's very old. It's old school, but it's really well done in my opinion. But there are a lot of people that when you say Tales from the Crypt, they obviously think of
The
the
show.
show, which
Yeah.
was great too. But this has nothing to do with that. This is totally, its own thing. Um, but I love that. Wicker Man is really really good. Um, I haven't seen that in a while though. Have you seen that one, Kill?
Oh, I've seen it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I would vote for the Wicker Man as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice.
Uh, Gina is not a fan of the Wicker Man or Tales from the Crypt. Wow, really? That's interesting. Interesting. All right. So let's see
Oh, nice.
what.
I just saw what the spicy general wrote.
Oh, the Wicker Man wins with
Yeah.
5 votes. Wow. Who would have thought?
Yes.
That is crazy in a good way because I think it's a great movie too. All right, let me add that in. Now, Coriander,
All right.
you've been talking about the Wicker Man a lot here. So what?
Have
I
I?
mean, yeah, well, you voted for it earlier too.
I
What are
did.
some? What's the reason why that you think it's such a great movie of the '70s, and you wanted it higher? You wanted it like at the fourth
I
seed.
did. Well, like I said, it's an occult movie. It deals with paganism.
Hmm.
You've got, they're on an island. Yeah, and it's got some crazy, costumes.
Mm.
It's just in the music, the atmosphere of the movie.
Hmm.
It's just a interesting movie that, yeah, it just the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, yeah, and the ending, like I said, it's
Yeah.
it's great, and yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, it made it. That's pretty
I
cool, man.
know. That's
Very,
great.
very cool. So
Yeah.
this is what we have so far as we start to wind down here for this first part of the bracket. We actually flew through this pretty quick. Okay,
Mhm.
so in the number one seed was Black Christmas, which again that kind of fell in place with our polls that we did earlier.
Hey,
In the
I have a question.
Yep.
Can't we do like one more, right? Just one more and get
Okay.
to 10?
Okay. All right. Let me just It's killing me, man. All right, we can do that though. We can do that.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
our number 2 seed was Carrie. Number 3 seed was The Omen. Number 4 seed, Dawn of the Dead. Number 5 seed was the Amityville Horror. Number 6 seed was Alice, Sweet Alice. I was so happy to see that get up in there in a
Yeah.
good place. Our 7th seed was Last House on the Left. Our 8th seed was Boy.
Mhm.
Our ninth seed is The Wicker Man. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go. We're gonna go through one more and then
Yeah.
get
And we
this
all
to
know
our
what
10th
that
seed.
has to be,
Well,
right?
okay. Well, now wait a minute. Let, let me name what we got left, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
want you to tell me what it has to be.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so these are the movies that we have left. Okay. And for you, and I know there's some folks that listen instead of watching us, so I'm gonna make sure I name these off. So far, what we've got left to choose our 10th seed, we've got Rabbit, we've got Nosferatu, we've got The Toolbox Murders, we've got I Spit on Your Grave, we've got Tales from the Crypt, we've got The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We've got Piranha. We've got Zombie. We've got Salem's Lot. We've got The Hills Have Eyes, Suspiria, and Phantasm just made it. So that's what we've got left. So Coriander, what
Yeah.
has to go in at this spot
All
at the
right.
10th seed?
So I'm picking this movie because it's like the Griswolds vacation gone wrong, right? Obviously, The Hills Have Eyes. This is
Okay.
like, yeah, it's a great movie. And I fortunately got to meet Michael Berryman like, I can't remember how many years ago, which was so cool. And
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it should be number 10. It should.
Okay. All
It should
right.
be in the top 10.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Kill, what do you think?
I have to agree. Hills have eyes.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's see if it can finally make it in there. Melissa is saying no. It's got to be Tales from the Crypt. Russell going with Nosferatu. Philip going with Piranha. Gina says it's got to make it. Hills.
All
Na-
right.
Nathan going with Hills.
Nice.
Mayanne going with Hills.
Yeah.
Dan says Suspiria. I know Suspiria is not even in yet. Can you imagine if Suspiria does not make it? That's going to be crazy. Uh, ZZM is going with Hills.
Nice.
Just another horror fan is like, we got to get I Spit on Your Grave in there. Denisha going with Hills. Val's going with Hills. All right. JJ
Yeah.
going with Tales from the Crypt. Michael's going with I Spit on Your Grave. So it looks like Hills is going to make it.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like Hills is going to make it as our number 10 spot. Wow, man. This is crazy. But it made it.
Nice.
Nice.
It made it, man. And what's funny is that, and I know just no horror fan was trying to get I Spit on Your Grave in there. One of our polls had I Spit on Your Grave that was basically like in a landslide. And
Wow.
it's just crazy. But that's why when we go live, for people that actually come into the live chat, I
Yeah.
like to get a chance to see what they say.
And so how do you
And
feel about that movie versus Last House on the Left? Because it's similar in the
oh, I agree.
theme.
It's dark.
Oh
It's
yeah,
dark.
it's
I
dark.
I haven't watched that movie in I don't even know how many years. And
Yeah.
it's the type of movie that, like I said, it's not the type of movie that when I say, I'm gonna chill out tonight, watch a horror movie. That movie is nowhere near on my radar to watch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
So it just seems like the
yeah.
subject matter is just what's tough for you guys to handle. Is that true?
Is it not tough for you?
Well,
It's dark.
I'm not, I mean, well, obviously it's dark, but
You're making
you
it sound like,
know,
it's nothing.
well, no, that's not what I'm saying, man. But some people just whatever, and I'm just curious. That's all.
You
It's
mean
just a
you mean they're more
question.
you
It's
mean they're
just a
more
question.
sensitive?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that too. Yeah, and some things like, some folks like with anything that's religious uh based, they're very, sensitive to that. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, so Hills had 6 votes. All right. We made it. We
Nice.
made it. Very, very cool. Um Melissa was saying, I don't like Hills Have Eyes, but I like Last House on the Left. Ooh, interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, we've got 2 for the late great Wes Craven. So let me just put this up here real quick as we head on out. This is what we've got so far for our 70s wing. Black Christmas at number 1, Carrie at 2, The Omen at 3. We've got at the number 4 seed Dawn of the Dead, Amityville Horror at number 5. At number 6, Alice Sweet Alice. At number 7, The Last House on the Left. Phantasm at number 8. The Wicker Man at number 9. And in the 10th spot, The Hills Have Eyes. All right, man.
Nice.
Real quick
Mhm.
before we head on out, Kill, what do you think of this list so far? How it's shaping up for the spots?
That's a strong list, man.
It is a strong list.
That's ooh, yeah. It's a lot of classics.
I gotta admit, man, this list is, I mean, to me, it might be stronger than the 2000s and the 80s list.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
70s movies is gonna win the bracket. That's
Wow.
gonna be that's
Well,
yeah. That's what I think.
Corey is like, I already know what's gonna happen.
Well, I
Well,
don't. I'm just
yeah.
saying.
No, and you're a big fan of 70s horror in general. Like when we've talked about the different decades, the 70s is,
Yeah, I have a passion for the 70s, I do. But I love
yeah,
the 80s too.
me too.
So those are two decades that are tough to
It
compare
is.
because I love them both so much. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I agree, and that's also the reason why we have them on opposite sides
Yeah.
of the bracket. We had to do it that way. I,
Oh,
I, I'm
yeah.
I'm pretty interested in how it's going to shape up. But man, the 90s list is pretty good too, man. It's crazy. The 90s list is pretty good too when we get to that. But
Yeah.
um, Two Boys saying the marketing is it's only a movie for Last House, right? And
That's
it's
right.
definitely more than a movie, that's for sure. Uh, Melissa saying no, don't leave yet.
Oh,
Uh, we appreciate it. We appreciate that.
Right?
Yeah. But anyways, guys, this is the list that we've got so far. So we're gonna finish the second half of the bracket. We're gonna plan to do that next week. Keep an
Nice.
eye out on our community tabs. We're gonna run some more polls. I'm also gonna make sure that on social media, I'm gonna put up some polls too. We didn't do as many for this first half of the bracket. We pretty much concentrated on community polls. We're also going to do special polls for our Patreon members. So thank you guys that are part of our Patreon group. We really appreciate the support. Again, if you haven't liked the video, please do. It helps support us. But also, let us know what you think in the comment section. This was really, really interesting. All of these movies are very strong, but let us know what you think about this listing and also the order that they're in. That's something that was really, really interesting for me as well. But anyways, we will catch you guys next time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out.
Upchurch.